Well, hello there, beautiful people, and thank you for joining me today. As you can see, this video, Synthetic Dreads, the cons. I just made this video as I had made a pro video. It's very important to be able to put the pros and the cons for anybody who is thinking of getting the synthetic dreadlock extensions put in your hair. Again, this is just my experience. Everybody's is a little bit different. My pros could be someone's cons and my cons could be someone's pros. So, but it is very important for me to be able to put this out there. Like I said, if you are thinking of getting dreadlock extensions. So let's just dive right into it. I made a list so I don't forget everything. So let's go into this. So the first thing I have on my list is heavy when wet. Now, dreadlocks, getting synthetic dreads are a little bit heavy. For me, it doesn't bother me too much because I've had extensions my whole life, so I think I'm quite used to it. But when it does get wet, you do feel it pull a little bit. Think about when, think about your hair being put in a braid. A loose braid, and then it gets wet, and if something was hanging off of it, you can feel it. So that's it's a little weird. It feels a little weird, but you'll get used to it. And what I do is, like, once my hair, I get out of the shower, I take a towel. I scrunch out as much water as I can, take a towel, and just try to absorb as much water as I possibly can. So that's what I do. So that could be a con, is they do get heavy when they are wet. Another con I have for myself is having to get used to a lot of hair. I do like a lot of hair, but I wanted even extra hair. So I have like a full set from me is about 60 pieces, but I add like another 20 or 30 pieces to it. So that makes it even heavier, and it makes it, can get in the way. You have to be able to like used to moving your hair out of the way. So that could be a con for some people if they don't like it. Another one I have on here is you got to get used to balancing your buns. So if you wear buns, so I sometimes put my hair up in a bun, if you've seen some of my other videos for dread hairstyles, and it took some time to get it up like that. But the thing is that if you do not tie the bun up properly, you can, while you're bending forward or bending back, you could feel it come forward. You have to be able to balance it. So make sure that it's really secure before you end up walking around with it, because that could be a con if you're not used to doing that. Another one I have, and this is a big one that you'll probably find on a lot of videos when it comes to synthetic questions and answers, is sleeping. Sleeping is definitely something that you have to get used to. Now, the reason why is because for many different things. For some people, this gets itchy and being on their skin, they're like, ah. So, like, for me, that doesn't bother me. The biggest thing for me is because my hair is 36 inches in length. So if I'm like laying down and I go to roll over, sometimes it gets under like my back or my shoulder, and I go like this to pull, and I can feel it pull, and I have to like grab it and move it. So what I normally do is I sometimes just pick it all up like this, and then I like turn on my side, and then I flip and just put it down. That's what I normally do. Sometimes I put it up in a bun, but sometimes I just don't want to have to go to bed and do all that. I just want to go to sleep. So I've, like I said, probably in the last month or two, I've just been like, just go to bed, and I'm getting used to it. It is definitely a learning curve. So if you don't like to have interrupted sleep, you got to learn your pattern of how you're going to make your hair work for you. Tension bumps. This is another one. This is another quite important one that I thought I only had, but I did find out that it is a normal thing, is when my tension bumps, I usually get them in the very back of the base of my neck down here on the bottom. Now, tension bumps are when you grab too little amount of hair where you braid, and it just pulls and it irritates it, and then you get little bumps. And the thing is, I'm a picker. I have OCD, so I'm constantly like picking and stuff, and if you gotta be careful because you can get scabs. But I've learned just to make sure, like when I reset my hair and stuff like that, that the hair under here I've grabbed more now, so I don't get those bumps anymore. But that is definitely a real thing. I have heard of women who do get them along here when they retie, or like around here. I haven't had it there. Like I said, only for me is in the back of my neck. But yeah, tension bumps are definitely a real thing. So make sure, like I said, when you're sectioning, get a good amount of hair. You also don't want to have too less of hair, because when it starts to grow down and you don't have a lot of hair, it hangs in your own hair. It could actually start twisting, and you could cause damage that way. But that would go with any hair extension, whether it be tape extension or fusion. Once it starts to grow down, you have to make sure you get it reset quickly so it doesn't twist and something like that happen. But other than that, if you know how much hair you're grabbing and when you're braiding, you shouldn't have that problem. What else do I have on here? Learning to shower without getting your hair wet. It's a con, but Not really. Like, it's the same sort of thing that, you know, if you're gonna get in the shower and you don't want your regular hair wet, It's just, you know, what I do is like, if I'm lucky I have the shower that I can take the shower head down and wash myself. So I would just like take all my hair on the one side, you know, shower, wash, and then flip my hair back and then do it again on the other side. I usually just keep my hair, but I tie it like, you know, tie it back. It makes it a lot easier. But that could be a con. And another one I have on here, well, my cats. I have cats, and my cats love to attack my dreads, especially when I'm sitting and I'm getting them refixed. They think it's string and I have to tell them to stop it, you know, because they just love it, especially one of my cats. He just loves my dreads. So that could be a con if you have cats. Make sure you try to keep your dreads out of the way of your cats because they are going to eat them like it's string. And another con I would have here would be the upkeep, the outgrowth that you get. So upkeep is, again, you get it all braided, and then within, you know, a couple of weeks, it starts to grow down, it starts to get looser. And my last video, I showed how I take it out, brush it out, and put it back in. So that is a con because it's very time consuming. You got to take it out, unbraid it, you got to brush through it, get out any of the dead hair, and then reapply it and tie it back in. And you got to do it for all of them. So that could be a big con if you, for time, if you're not, you know, if that's not your thing and you just don't have a lot of time. So that could be a big con if you're not into getting that kind of stuff done. For me, yeah, it's a bit pain in the butt because, like I said, I have a lot more in my hair, so it takes a lot more time. And the last con I have on here is just the actual installation. The installation of getting them put in is a long process. Yeah, now I don't know if you put them in yourself or if you get someone to do it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do not put them in myself. I'm going to be completely honest here. I actually have a good friend of mine. She also has dreads, and I just go over to her home and she installs them all in my head. She does it within 2 to 3 hours depending, and it's done. And when it comes to the upkeep, when you know 2 or 3 or 4 weeks or a month go by and you have to, you know, retie them all up, I actually do the ones all in the front here myself. Like I do all these guys all along, like where I can see them all here, I do all here. The rest, the back here and all underneath here, my husband does it for me. I have a wonderful husband, but he does it for me. He takes it out for me and brushes it through and then reties it back because it's actually a lot faster when he does it for me, because when you're here and your arms are up and you're constantly trying to like braid, your arms get tired, you got to stop, and it just takes more time. And I just don't have the patience. That's just my experience. I mean, there are girls out there who do their own hair, like the girl who does my hair, she does her own, and that's fabulous for people who do. I just don't have the patience for that kind of thing. So installation is a long process. And again, just like the upkeep, the outgrowth, that is also time consuming. So those would be the biggest cons for me anyways. If you have any other, if you have dread extensions and if you have any cons that I didn't mention on this list, please put it in the comments because I would like to know, because I might think, oh yeah, that's another one, because it's quite important. Or for other people who are watching this video who do want to go to the comments and they might find something else there. It's very interesting for them to know about the cons of having these synthetic drag blasts. I don't want it to sound like a bad thing because most of these are, you can deal with most of them, right? It's like I said, like trying to like being able to how to wash your hair in the shower, like that's not really a con, but it can be, I guess, because you know you have to figure things out. But like I said, my pro list, it definitely outweighs the con list, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love my dreads. I love my dreads, and they're definitely worth it. But again, I do get help having them put in. So yes, thank you guys for joining me today. I hope that helped. And if you have any questions, you put them in the comments and I will get back to you guys as soon as I can. And you guys enjoy the rest of your week. You guys are fabulous. I love you. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.